back to Rockin' Minute with Jimmy B, now on ESPN 620.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, you know what that theme song is. That is NAU. So we have ditched the radio guy for a much better guest. It is the head coach for the Jacks. It's Brian Wright in his second year. Coach, it's always good to have you on, and thank you for coming back to the show despite what Minuch and I said.
By the way, we'll get Mitch on tomorrow. We get Mitch on every Wednesday, Coach. So we still love him. We don't care what they say about him.
Well, thanks for having us back. It's always a pleasure.
All right, Coach.
Even though we have an Eastern Washington grad.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I know.
Don't hold it against him, Coach.
Oh, God, I'm still upset at you, Coach. All right, here we go. Ranked 11th, Coach. So that is ASU ranked 11th in the country, and you're going to come down from the mountain and try to put the hurt on them and be an upset. How does that sit the way that you have scheduled this out for your team next week?
Well, it's a bit of a cliche, but, obviously we're focused on what we do right now, how we perform, how we prepare, and how we play our best football, really regardless of the opponent. And certainly, we have a huge challenge ahead of us. But a great opportunity that our guys, our program is excited for.
Coach, I hope you're sitting down, hands at 10 and 2. You start a week from Saturday, correct? I mean, it's the 28th is next week. When Jimmy said that, I went, oh, really? So all that being said, sometimes that can be, shell shock or sticker shock for a lot of players. All of a sudden it's here. How are you getting to that point? As far as attacking this team and being ready to go that a week from Saturday night?
Yeah, we just had practice 17 today, and it's been 17 days of NAU versus NAU.
Sure.
So it will be nice to get the season started, have another opponent, what a great opponent that we have week one. Thanks for reminding me how many days we have left, because we could use a couple more to get ready. But our guys are ready. It gets even today. Our guys are just hitting each other again today, and I think we're all excited to get into game week, and we'll get into that in earnest on Sunday.
And Coach, with a lot of your experienced players that know how to get it done from last year into this year. To kind of get the young guys up to speed, how has that been? Because you guys have your format, your process of getting them in there, but how have the older guys or the so-called veterans helped those young guys along?
Yeah, it starts with our 5 captains. They've done a great job in communicating how we work, how we practice, how we prepare, and then that's just carried through the rest of the veteran players. But we have a lot of new players to get that message across. I had all the newcomers. That includes all the guys that even showed up in January. Get in front of the room last night in the team meeting and have to sing the fight song. And it's like 3/4 of the room. We're like, holy cow. There's a lot of guys to get ready here in just over a week for that first one. But, we have some guys, obviously, that played for us last year that know what it looks like. And so does our staff. Our whole staff is back from a year ago. So that's been good. And that's helped us really lead the way in preparation.
Coach, are you doing any extra things that you can because it's going to be hot in the valley and you guys are 7,000 feet up and it's not as hot?
We've practiced on our turf field right outside of our facility. And that usually right on the turf can be 20 to 25 degrees hotter than it is up on our grass field at the surface when it's a hot day. And so we've done that the last couple of days just to try to get as hot as we can. I know it's not going to simulate what it's going to be like next Saturday totally, but we have had some warm days. We have had some days that feel like 80 to 85 and a lot hotter on the turf. I would guess that it feels about like high 90s on the turf when we did that. We also practiced last week in a couple afternoons and just tried to get the hotter part of the day. But it is a challenge because, again, you can't really simulate the real heat.
Yeah, Coach, I just checked the weather next weekend. It's going to be mid-90s during the week, and then probably kick off on Saturday might be 92 to 90. So that's sweater weather for us here in the valley. Yeah. So you might catch a break once that sun goes down. But all that being said, in the way you practice and physicality, not physicality, I mean, is there a fine line in reference to that kind of practice when you say, well, we're live, we're not going to hit live? I mean, how do you try to balance that in getting ready, as Jimmy alluded to, a number 11th ranked team?
Boy, that is a great question, because that's something that I battle, and I think our staff talks about constantly. It's, where do we meet in the middle? Because we have to be physical. We have to get tougher. We have to hit. We can't let our guys go into week one and not have gotten used to that, and kind of form that callus. We have to do it, but we have to be smart and do it in the right way. We've tried. We have had a few live days like you typically do in the preseason, but we've tried to break it down into smaller groups, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, have some more tackle drills and what's called thud drills, where the guys can be pretty physical without taking them to the ground in those smaller groups, just to try to protect other bodies.
So, Coach, what becomes more important as a game? More 11-on-11 or more of those individual groups you're talking about?
Yeah, again, a good question, because there's nothing like 11-on-11. There's nothing like the quarterback, knowing what all of his guys are doing, feeling the pass rush, seeing the safeties. There's nothing like that. And we get almost half of practice here of late has been that, just true 11-on-11 situations. You talked about how are we simulating next week. We put the loudest speaker that we have on campus right behind the offense in a little golf cart and drive it right behind the offense, so that we have noise simulated to where the offense can't hear. So we've tried to create as much chaos in some of that 11-on-11 as we can, and put our team in tough situations. We worked third and long with that. In that situation, we worked fourth down today. We worked 2-point plays. So, putting our team in a lot of different situations with that noise, with as hot as we can make it here.
Sure. Yeah. Coach, it's just the three of us talking. Nobody else is here. You going to let Ty Pennington throw it all over the yard next week?
We're going to think about it. We'll let you guys know Saturday morning. What we're thinking of doing, and what we're going to allow Ty to do and not do. But we feel like obviously that he's a great player, and
he is.
And we've got him surrounded with some great players as well, and I think all great quarterbacks do a great job of distributing the ball to their playmakers, and that's what we would like to do.
Coach, a little redundant here, but how comfortable is Ty and all these players getting ready, and how comfortable are you knowing they're comfortable in reference for you expanding your offense?
Yeah, I think Ty is really comfortable. I think as an offensive unit, we had a lot of learning moments just yesterday in practice. When we put all those things up against him in those situations. Sure. And we learned a lot. We had a much better day today. So I would say that we're still developing really in some of those areas and getting comfortable with the offense. And, we had to work the silent cadence a lot, because we know we're going to need that next Saturday. And so there's just a lot of things in there that go on, especially on the offensive side of the ball, that we're still really developing and working through and need to get really good at really fast, because what a test, here in a little over a week.